Instagram Live and YouTube at the same time.
Counting
I
down.
know, this is just, it should be fine.
Moving up.
Yeah, man. Moving on with the second guy.
Woo-hoo. Hello and welcome to another episode of This Is Us. I'm your host G, and let me introduce you to the other panelists. So we have Tyler.
Hello everyone, how you doing? And hello everyone on Instagram, how you doing?
That's right. We're currently live streaming on Instagram at the same time. So hello G,
Hi, hello, hi.
and we have Jude.
Hi guys.
Okay, thank you for tuning in today. Those of you on Instagram, if you can just like our page and follow us, and those of you on YouTube, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about friends. Who are they? Who are your friends? I'm one that loves my friends. I have quite a lot of friends, friends for different reasons, friends for different seasons, but we will come back to that. But I'm just going to ask Tyler. Tyler, what makes a friend?
That's a big question right there. Many things make a friend, but I think overall, someone who's kind of honest with you, someone who's there for you, someone who looks out for you, someone who tells you your flaws and is not always kind of praising you all the time, you know, keeps you grounded, keeps you level-headed, someone that puts in just as much effort, if not more, than what you do to them. You know, it has to be that equal thing. You know, a friendship can't be one way, it has to be both ways. And just someone who's just got your back and is there for you in any circumstance. So yeah, a number of those things and more, which I'm sure the other guys will say.
Talking about somebody that has your back, I picture it as, well, this is how I see a friend. As in, if I fall on the floor, rather than laugh, you fall on the floor with me. So if something happens, we're in
You
this
laugh
together.
first.
We hold
and
each
then-
No,
other's hands.
I would laugh first before.
Yeah, laugh first.
Tell you the simple as that. It's fact.
I will laugh. I'll take
You will laugh
pictures,
first.
take video,
Hey,
and then pick you up.
Yes,
see my
yes, yes.
life. You will laugh, take pictures before you
And
even think
video,
of helping
and
me.
video,
And
and then
video.
help you. Yes.
Yes.
See my friends. Oh. See the
That's what
people that
I'll
I
do.
call friends. Eh?
It's friendship now. You have to keep it real.
Jude,
For real.
Jude,
Tell 'em.
what do you think in regards to what makes a friend? Or is it the same as
Uh,
Tyler? Do you have anything to add to that?
No, it's a very massive question. Wow, growing up as a young teen, I would say all the things that Tyler said. Yeah, it was what people call your ride or die now, because when I was growing up, we had people like that in our clique. People, you know, you had their back, they could stand up for you, defend you any time of the day, whether you was there or not. They could fight your fight for you. So growing up, it was like that. And when you lose those people, say maybe you had your issues and a bus stops or fights, and you actually go home and talk about it. And yeah, those are the time. But now, I've grown older, you then realize, hang on, priorities have changed. So friends, you don't really need all of that hanging around you. There's no ride or die. There's no dark friend who can tell you your flaws. Like I'm not able, I put my hands up to tell my friend their flaws just because I have to now consider a lot of things. I've said I've been upright before and it cost me friendship. So I take a step back now. I won't do that. So
See, I'm
if
the
I can,
opposite. If I see
yeah,
a flaw, I think as a friend, I'd have to find a way of telling you sort of what
It
is not.
depends on how bad the flaw is. It depends on if it's detrimental to the person or the very close people around them, because you can't really change a person. You kind of, I said to someone yesterday, the way you meet somebody, there's something that attracted you to them in the first place. So you can't try and change them to fit what
Yeah.
you think is right. So you almost have to take them as they are and just accept that that's it, because there are things about you that they probably accepting and not trying to
simple as
change
that.
about you.
Fact,
So
fact,
if
fact.
it's really, really bad, like, I mean, let's say they kill somebody and you knew about that, you know what, as in like something serious ahead. But
Yeah.
if it's just a character trait that is inherent within them, you kind of have to, you can't make up the friend you want. You can't build a friend, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can't beat a
Sorry,
robot.
I'm just looking at our YouTube and we have Nordia who's online. Nordia's actually said that she's with Tyler and she's laughing. She'll do the same. So I'm presuming she's saying, if I fell on the floor, she would
Yes.
laugh
Yes.
before
Take
she does
pictures.
anything. Take pictures. Thanks a lot, Nordia. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll find you. It's fine.
Uh,
It's fine. But what
guys,
I
a
was
quick
going to
one,
say
a
was,
quick one, yeah. I don't know if Jude can be heard on Instagram. Just to say, can 2HBT Sleek, can you check when Jude speaks if you can be heard on Instagram? Otherwise, just there's just a silence on Instagram. Just like
So at least we
sorry
know
about
when
that. We've
Jude's
just
speaking.
we're trying to figure out how
Yeah.
to ensure that Jude's been heard on Instagram at the same time as being on the YouTube live. But as we said to you, those of you on the Instagram, if you can switch over to the YouTube live, you'd be able to get the 4 panelists. There are 4 of us and not 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Good friends are loyal and they accept you for who you are during the good and the bad times. So the sort of, so if you're happy, they're with you. If you're sad, they're with you holding your hand. But how do we choose our friends? What influences us to choose our friends? G?
I think friends are sometimes picked indirectly due to whatever circumstance you're going through at the time. You know how you have friends that, okay, like we talked about university, you make some friends and some are for life and some not so much, they're just for the time you're at uni. So I think a friend in need is a friend indeed. And that has only been something I've experienced as an adult when you have serious adult problems. And that's when you know who your real friends are. And friends that you thought were just people you see once in a while, and then you actually call, I don't know, 3 of the friends you think are closest to you, they can't help you. But it's this 6th friend you call that's one actually comes to your aid. And you kind of never forget something like that. And this is someone that you think doesn't even really send you anything. So I think it depends on the circumstance. And I'm sure as everyone would say on the panel, everyone has different friends for different things. Like I have friends I can go to if I need them to listen. I have the ones that can give me advice. I have the ones that we just go out to the club and that's what they're good for. And there's some we discuss music. So you just have
Okay.
different friends for different things. That's my opinion.
So that's what we call friends for different seasons, friends for different reasons and friends for different seasons.
Yes.
And that's us females, we tend to have a lot of that. We've got friends that we can go to different directions for. But I wanted to hear it from a male's point of view. So I'm going to throw this to Tyler. Tyler, do you sort of have the same friends for different reasons, that friends for different seasons?
Kind of, but kind of not. I think the main friends are friends for all seasons, because at the end of the day, if you're one of my best friends, like when I think of like my best friends, they're there for me whenever. So yeah, but I understand the friends for different seasons. Sometimes friends come and friends go. Sometimes you meet friends later on in life that actually become really good friends. But weirdly, this is how I kind of mark friendship sometimes. This may sound weird to some people, but I believe a true friend is someone that you can spend one-on-one time with, whether that be talking on the phone, doing a Zoom call for, or meeting up in person. If you can't spend one-on-one time with each other and actually chill and not feel no pressure to speak or to constantly be speaking or cracking jokes, whatever it is, just literally chilling out, doing nothing. They're over there, you're just, hanging out. That to me is a sign of true friendship, because I've got so many friends that I can hang out with on a one-to-one level, but then there's others that I would never think about. Okay, let me go and chill with you on a one-to-one, because I like them and stuff, but we just it would be a bit weird. So for
those
me,
are called acquaintances.
No, but I think they're a bit closer than acquaintances, because I agree. You've got the acquaintances that are just completely removed, but some, I don't know, I think they're a bit closer, but it's more of a group. When you've got a group of like 6 people in a friendship, and you're close with like maybe 2 of them, but then the other 4, they're friends of the.
I guess
of the
I
2
don't
people
have that sort of circle. I have like my inner caucus. They know each other, and I think it's just 3 or so, and they know each other. But there's maybe a wider group that we're never together like that for us to know. Like when I hear younger people, some people say, "Oh, we've got a group of us. There's 6 of us are best friends." I'm like, how? You can't all be best friends.
Do you know what? I've got a group of friends. We call ourselves the sisterhood, and they would say that I'm the gel. They would say that I'm the middle, and they're all friends, but I'm sort of the one that holds us all together. But within that, each of them I've met different at different stages of my life. So secondary school, college, university, even just general life. But they've all formed their own friendships. And
Okay.
one thing I can say is within that, with me, I can talk to all of them on a one-to-one basis. I see what Tyler's saying. I can talk to them on a one-to-one basis. We can sit on the phone till like 3, 4 in the morning. We can we can talk about any and everything. But I don't know whether they have the same relationship between themselves. So that's where Tyler goes with that group of 6.
Yeah,
So you'd
yeah,
have maybe
yeah.
2 within that 6 that you can talk to, but the rest, there's a bit of a distance between you where you
Yeah, I think
can't
that's what I
have
mean.
that.
Like they can't all be, you can't all be equal best friends
Yeah.
with each other in that big group. It just, yeah,
I'm
I don't think
I'm
it
gonna
works.
throw this to Jude. Jude, it's the same question I asked Tyler, but I just want to hear your views on it in regards to or I think it was G asked, how important is it to choose your friends wisely?
Like I said, I'm just gonna go back. At this moment in my life, I don't think I need friends. I don't think it's
I
important to
knew Jude
choose
was
friends.
gonna say that. I
No, it's
knew Jude
fact.
was
It's
gonna say
fact. It
that.
is fact. G said something about when I hear the young ones talk about we have these 6 friends, and she wonder why that. Look, at the time you were young, you got no pressure about life. You got nothing you're really chasing. That's where you're able to dream. So at that stage, I was able to dream with the guys I called my friends or the girls who were within our clique. We dreamt together. We want to be this. We want to move the world that way. We want to be Tupac. We want to be African Puff Daddy. We want to be Jay-Z. We want to be all of that. Yes, it's a good time. So I like it. Like people have that. But as you grow older, like I said, life crept in, family crept in, pressures crept in, priorities crept in. You went to school, they went their separate way. You don't live in the same neighborhood again. Where you live, you're
Mm.
far removed from those people. You all live with close strangers right now. So choosing friends at this stage, man, ain't my priority. We have what we call businesses, acquaintances, and I still
Yeah.
got my friends in my life. Don't get me wrong, people we grew up together with, but we talk every day. It's mainly them calling. I don't think if I go through all my phone content, I will pick one out and I will say, you know what, I can't do without chatting with this one. I'm honest. I keep telling my people, I said, look, I don't love you. If I love you, I'll be on your phone calling you all the day. Do I do that? No. Do
Ah,
I care whether you're no, it's fact.
but
Because
wait, you
pressures
tell
of
them you don't
life.
love them.
Yes, yes, yes. I have to be truthful because if you love people, you'll be there for them whenever and wherever. I am not that at the moment, so I can't lie about that. So you see
But
where
that
I'm
doesn't
going.
mean that you don't love them. The love
Yeah,
for
you can't
friendship
just
is
tell people you
different.
don't love
It's
them.
No,
different to the sort of love we
people,
have for like our
pe- pe-
family.
people you love, you want to lay your life down for. I would ride and die. I would stand with my guys, but I'm saying priorities have changed, and they understand as well. I'm pretty sure
Mm.
if I was asking them today, they'll be saying similar things like because we cannot do that while we was young. What we were
Mm.
doing then, it's kind of dropped
But that
out.
no, but I understand that. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't change the love that you. It's probably the love for each other is
Maybe
why
it
you have
doesn't
that
change.
understanding now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's knowing that
Probably.
you've grown up, you've figured out that you're married, your friends are married, you've all got your
Yeah,
children, you've got life to
yeah,
live. But if
yeah.
you were to call your friend and say, ah, my guy, oh yeah, let's meet up for a drink, they'd probably say, okay. But then you go back to your lives afterwards. For the mere
But I tell
fact
you,
of
my guys will tell you, if we call you, you don't come out anyway. So I'm out of that. It's what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't call me. So when they tell me things that happened the week before, I'm like, Jesus Christ, none of you give me a call. I said,
Do
come
you
on,
call
man.
them? Do you call them?
eh.
You just said you don't call them. So how do they say that they call you?
Exactly where I'm going. So they know they can't rely on Jude to go party with them. I will give one excuse or the other. I have to be with
I
family.
think
They
I think
know
I
that.
think
So they don't
Jude's
call me.
current dream is to be some sort of enigma. Like,
Barbecues, they can, if I call them for barbecue, they do come out. Look, I got them, but they know, I don't know how to put it. It's not as when we was growing up. It's different. It's different to that
That's what
vision
we've
and that
had.
vision we had. Yeah.
yeah.
It does change. This, as I said, my
Mm.
sisterhood group. We grew up where we would go clubbing together. We grew up
Yep.
where all the escapades and running into town, we did that all together. But now that we're older, if you hear the conversations, we're talking about, oh, what's the best way to puree food for a baby? The
Exactly.
conversation has changed. We
Uh-huh.
can't, once in a while, we'll get the invite to who wants to come to this, but there's no pressure. For the mere fact
Mm.
of our responsibilities has changed, our priorities have changed. But it doesn't
Exactly.
mean that we love each other less. in actual fact, I think the love is why we have that understanding for each other.
Thank you for correcting me on that. It's possible.
But then that then brings
Yeah,
up, how do you maintain such relationships? So Tyler, how do you maintain your relationship, especially through this pandemic? How have you maintained
Yeah.
your friendships?
So I think the maintaining of friendships is something that can't be forced. You know, you guys
I
are
agree
either
with
gonna
that.
be, you're either gonna be friends, or
Or
you're
you're
gonna
not.
you're
Yeah.
gonna kind of separate. And I think lockdown has been a good example to look at, because, you know, how many of your friends have you spoke to during lockdown that you considered were friends before lockdown?
Thank you very much.
You know,
I'm actually still
I
speaking
always
to all
have
my
these.
actual friends during pandemic.
Oh, you know, you should be. But I always have these random thoughts that come into my head sometimes when I'm like, actually, I genuinely think, like, I think of the people that I, for example, invited to our wedding, and I think, how many of those people that I talk to? And luckily, it is the majority still, and we're still really close with a lot of people. But there's still a few. There's a few that, imagine, they came to your wedding and you don't actually really speak no more. And I'll give you another example. One of my friends who was meant to get married last year, obviously their wedding got cancelled. They were talking about, you know, replanning the wedding and reducing the numbers and all this kind of stuff. And I literally said to the person, I'm not going to say whether they're he or she, I said to the person, how many of these people that you were going to invite to your wedding have you spoke to in this last year?
Yeah.
And, you know, there was a number that they hadn't. And I'm like, well, there you go. These are, we're just inviting people just for the sake of, like, you know, they're acquaintances, they're not friends. And we get that mixed up so much. So, you know, the maintaining shouldn't be a struggle. I've got friends that I've known since I was young, and we may speak once in every 3-4 months, but there's no pressure. You know, those ones when you call and it seems like you spoke to them yesterday, and it's like, hey, how are you? You're fine. And there's no bad feeling. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
That
That's
for me
friendship.
is, you know,
That's
friendship.
the definition of friendship.
G, so what's your views in regards to that? How would you, or how do you maintain your friendships, your friendships?
The friendships I have, the ones that are really, really dear and close to me. First of all, my sister, who's watching the show, and I am going to drop her in, she is terrible at picking up the phone in general. But when we talk, we can talk for hours. Like I spoke to her yesterday. I might not have spoken to her for 2 weeks. And she does this thing where, if I was talking to her for a couple of weeks and she knows maybe I've sent her a message and she has a response, she will call me, she'll apologize, and we'll just pick up where we left off. The same thing with I'd say my other 2 best friends. It's the same thing. And we have such an open relationship that they know out of my wider friendship circle, I'm the one that tends to check on people a lot more. And I have a friend in particular, we speak maybe twice a year, and every time I talk to her, she'll be like, I'm so glad and I'm sorry I haven't called. I know you're the one that always calls, and we'll talk and whatever. She always apologizes, which is fine. I have another one that does the same thing. But my very, very close circle, they know I need to speak to you once a week. It's a need for me.
Once a week, yeah?
At least.
That's
At least
difficult.
once a week.
That's a lot, you know.
Difficult.
When I say speak,
A lot of pressure.
I mean no. When I say speak, I mean just send me a message. What's up?
Okay, like a check-in. Like a check-in. Right, okay.
Bearing in mind, I have, let's say, I want to say 3 friends. So it's not that many. So it's just like, what's up, babe? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm just being busy, but that's it. Done.
It's amazing how far that WhatsApp goes. Just somebody messaging you, just saying, hi, hope you're well.
Yeah, hi, I hope you're well. That's it. And I'm just used to checking. And I'm one of those people that if I think about you, I'll send you a message straight away and I'll check on you, because I have this thing in my mind that if I don't, the next thing I'll hear is you're dead or something bad has happened. That's how my brain thinks. I know it's very morbid. And you don't want to sit there and go, and I thought about that person the other day and now they're dead, sort of thing. So I always, as soon as I think about it, I'll message them. If I'm not okay, I will tell them. They don't even have to ask me. But this is for my closest friends. I have one of my friends that the minute I say hello, she knows if I'm okay or if I'm not, just from how I say hello.
Yeah.
From picking
I
up
don't know.
the phone.
I think to maintain relationships, communication is there. I think if you've been friends for some time, you do understand that life does get busy. You do understand that we all have priorities, but doesn't mean that we do not think of our friends or do not want to have a conversation with them when we have the time. But maintaining relationships, I think throughout this pandemic has been vital to keep those friendships. Being at home with your spouse, at times you do need a form to breathe, even if it was just to meet up with a friend for a walk. or meet up with, or even just call a friend just to see how they're doing. But what I was going to ask is, what about, because we're all married here, so we've all got friends of the same sex. So I've got female friends, but I've also got a couple of male friends. But I wanted to ask, what's your opinion? And this is going to go to Jude in regards to your partner having friends of the opposite sex.
My opinion is mute, because at the end of the day, it's not something I can control anyway. I do have friends of the opposite sex from childhood, and thank goodness to Facebook and social media, and they found out, oh, that's Jude, and some of them will call. I still speak to them in my yard, and we still talk and play and goofy, and they call me names like, oh, you used to be very shy, now you're on YouTube doing chat show, who do you think you are? So I could not control that. One, in my own life, because my wife is from a different country, they speak their own language, and I've been there 2 times. So if I was going crazy about trying to control that, she could easily sell me out, just be there speaking their language, and I'll be like an idiot. So I had to give into fate. So I don't have issue with that. That's just me. I don't. Absolutely not, because it's something that I could never police anyway. So there's no point. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so I think the way I've worded that might not be how I want it. So what about if this is going to go to Tyler now. So what if your wife had a BFF? So not just a friend, a best friend that was a male. Now that's different, because having a friend is different to saying that your best friend is of the opposite sex.
Okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. So
he can't. He's like, "Ooh, okay."
No. I'm just gathering my thoughts. Firstly, my wife does have male friends, and there's one in particular that I can think of. And they've been friends from before me and her were together. I wouldn't necessarily say they're like BFFs, but they used to go like theater together and stuff like that, and they're really good friends. And I have no issue with that whatsoever, because he knows me, we've met, we've chilled, you know what I mean? And that's the difference. When there's someone that's a BFF or whatever, and then you're kind of being left out of things and all that kind of stuff, then that's when it starts getting tricky. But no, from when there's been honesty from the beginning, and I can see that it's a genuine relationship, of course I would always ask the question, like, has there ever been any history? If they turn around and she said yes, there has.
Would that make a difference?
Yeah,
definitely
if
will.
If you want me to be honest, yes, it would make a difference, and I would expect it to make a difference for vice versa as well, because they're really good friends now, but they used to get it on back in the day. I'm not going to feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Same, but like I said, I could not police that.
Would you ask her not to be friends with the person anymore because you found out this extra bit of information?
I don't think I would ask them not to be friends. I don't think so. Let me talk personally. I don't think I would ask my wife not to be friends with a friend of hers that she used to like see back in the day or something like that. I don't think I would say to her, look, don't be friends with that person. But I would say there's boundaries, and there's a certain level of respect for me that you can't be hanging about with this guy in a one-to-one situation.
You'd
and things
make
like
yourself
that.
clear, wouldn't you? You'd ensure that she knows
absolutely.
where you stand and how you feel.
Yeah, because I would expect that she wouldn't want that of me if it was the other way around. Because not that I would now think, because some people may look at this now and be like, oh, but if you trust her, she could hang around with anyone.
Trust. It's not about the trust.
It's more of a feeling. It's more.
There's just something. Yeah.
My way to counter that feeling is, I know this is gonna sound horrible, I assume my husband has slept with every female friend of his.
Why?
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Why?
I just assume it helps my brain.
That's good. If you have to.
Slept all of them. So
but that
what
can't
else
be healthy, because then I'd be sitting there like,
no, but okay. Also,
one?
I must add, and I've said this in an episode months ago, I can differentiate between sex and love. As long as she doesn't love them, that's fine. If it's had sex with them, that's just smashing. That's fine. So I can't be sitting here.
Sherlock Holmes.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Wow.
But if I assume,
people, did you hear that? Did
honestly,
you hear that?
If my, I always joke to my husband, like whenever he says he's going, because he does grills and stuff, whenever he's going to get meat from the meat shop and he says the name of the meat shop, it's got to the point where I'm like, oh, is that what you call her now? Like, I mean, because that's just how my brain works. It just helps my brain to,
Okay.
I don't know, it's just, that's for me. So if there's a woman, oh yeah, even when he talks about his female colleagues, oh yeah, he's slept with her. But I
Okay.
don't know,
No,
it's
but
just
G, what
something
if
I
no,
do
you
but
in my head.
actually knew? Because at the moment you're putting it, what you're saying is you just presume in your mind that he's been with everyone, so that way it just makes it easier for you to sort of
Yeah,
continue. But
yeah,
what if you knew that that person there is somebody he'd previously dated, but they're now just best friends? Are you
that's
going to
fine.
be okay with that relationship?
Yeah, that's fine. As long as the relationship happened before I married him, we're cool.
no,
Okay, I
but
know.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
not, it's
about.
not,
It's
it's
not
not,
just.
it's not,
It's
it's not
not just
that
about
easy
you being
though.
okay with it though. It's now when, for example, if your husband now said they're going out for the night or they're chilling together, like,
Or
would
I'll
you?
say I'm not okay with it, but
Okay,
I can't stop it. If
okay.
I'm not, and also I think me personally, I have a very, very strong gut instinct about a lot of things. And I
Mhm.
tend to say it out loud to the person if it's related to somebody else. So if I don't feel okay with something, I'll tell you straight away, like, I'm not okay with this thing. I can't tell you why, but I'm not okay with it. And we have the kind of, and also my husband is also my best friend, is one of my best friends. So
That's how it
it's
should be.
very, and when we first got married, we had this thing where if we have a disagreement about something, I would say, okay, I need to talk to you as your friend, not your wife, so I can go in, like, because this is how I'd go in with my friend, like, this is what you did, blah, 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 blah. So if I'm not comfortable with something, I think we're mature enough and we're comfortable enough with each other for me to say, I'm not okay with this, and this is why I'm not okay with it. Do you see what I mean? And then I can't control anybody. I'm not going to tell you
Yeah, of
what you
course.
do, what you can't do, because I
Yeah.
also have this thing when it's probably a byproduct of my childhood. Men are going to do what men are going to do.
Yeah, not
I
men
just
will
have
do what
to.
men will
No, I
do. It's
know.
just
I'm just saying. I have to go from my experience and what I've seen, where they will swear up and down something and then something else. So, and I just don't like, because I think as women also, because we're emotional, not me, clearly, we kind of always put a lot of emphasis on things, and we will, one small thing would happen and a woman would have done a whole movie about it, and it's just this one small thing that's
Yeah.
happened. But already they've said, he did this and this happened and this happened. They fantasize this big reality that's not even true. So I'm always very conscious of, if I'm not comfortable with something, if I'm not happy about something, I will say it. If I don't say it, my face will say it anyway. I have to say, what's the matter, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I just think life is, I try and take life as easy as possible, to be
yeah,
honest.
it's not much you can control
Yeah,
anyway. It's
whatever
not much
helps
you
my
can
Yeah.
control,
brain
but
is what I do.
So for those of you that are tuning in on Instagram, I know you're currently looking at the three of us. As we said earlier, there are four of us. So to get the full experience, please switch over to YouTube,
Oh
YouTube channel
yeah.
2HBTV, where we're
Link
currently
is in the bio.
streaming live. Look in the bio. Those of you on YouTube, thank you. Hello. Just to let you know, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like and the notification. For those of you that tuned in late, today's topic is about friends. Who are they? So we've just been talking about what makes a friend, how to build, how we keep those healthy relationships with our friends, and also, is it okay to have friends of the opposite sex? So those of you that are currently watching live, we want to hear your views. How would you feel if your spouse had a BFF, not just a friend, a best friend that was of the opposite sex? So please just put it in the comments. Let us know how you feel. So I'm just going to put this one out there in regards to, it's just a general one. Like, how many of you have friends that become family? So I've got a few friends that I can say yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're like my sisters. They are my sisters. We've been
Yeah.
through so much. My family probably take them as their own children because
Mm-hmm.
we've grown up together and have been through so much together. I'm going to throw this one to Tyler. Friends that become family.
Yeah, like I would class I had four groomsmen at my wedding, and straight away I would class them as family. That's the immediate. There's more. There's a few more than that, and then there's some female friends as well, that I would similarly class as family. And just to put it out there, these are all female friends that have been my friends before I was with my wife, and there's never been anything sexual between us.
you don't
So the
have to put
friend,
it out there.
No
no.
sexual relationship in
I'm
that
putting it
way.
out there because it's important. I think that the friendships were pure. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they've always remained that. And I've seen them through their having their boyfriends and now they're either married or engaged or whatnot.
Mm.
So, and yeah, and I think that just touching on that, the reason why my wife was okay with them situations, even though we may have, some of the female friends may have been close, was because from the get-go, it was, this is my wife. It was about me bringing my wife in, or at the time my girlfriend or whatever, into that friendship, and being like, this is the woman that I want to be with, saying that openly in front of them, so that they know, okay, there's no threat. And then the best friend would be like, oh yeah, he's always speaking about you. He's do you know what I mean? And then straight away, there's no animosity or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the whole going back to the family thing, yeah, man, like, you know, them friends, them guys I think of in particular are like, anytime, anything they need, anytime they need me, whatever it is, I'm there for you. Like, you know, ride or die, I am there for you. And another thing I was going to say as well, when it comes to friends becoming like family, is another clue to like friendships growing or fading away is like, your conversation as you get older needs to change. You know, you can't, you know, some of my boys that are my good friends, that when we were younger, you know, chasing girls, all that kind of stuff, of course. But as time has gone on and we've grown up and whatnot, the conversation has changed. It's gone from talking about girls to talking about getting married and kids and investing and buying properties and business. And, you know,
so it's building yourselves. It's the things, the different life stages and building yourselves together.
Yeah. My friend I was just chatting to on the phone just now, a couple of hours ago, one of my really good friends I've known since I was 10. And we were talking randomly about our children and whatnot and all that. And the next thing he just hit me up like, oh, have you invested in this thing yet? And, you know, and the conversation just went into that. And then, you know, so it's like, the conversation needs to be enriching. Not every single conversation you have needs to be enriching, but most of the time it needs to be like, okay, teach me something, or what are we teaching each other? What are we?
You're spot on that. Spot on.
Yeah. And I think you naturally, as you get older and as you mature, you naturally kind of weed out friends that are not adding to your life.
Friends that elevate you. You kind of elevate you.
Yeah. And also you have friends that, I mean, to answer your question, Dia, about the ones that become family, for me, friend, like my close friends, my husband has their number. Their dads have my number. Their dad can call me and say, hi, how are you, my dear? How, you know, that kind of thing. One of my best friends, her dad actually offered me a spare key to the house so that I can come and go.
Like I say, it's the ones where our parents have adopted them themselves.
You know, like if I need career advice or something, I go to him. If I've made minor problems with something and he needs opinion as an older, I'll call him. I can call him on my own, talk to, you know, that kind of thing. But also, you know, friends and family are the ones that you can just call them by saying nothing and just video call them while dancing to old school Afrobeat for 2 minutes and hang up.
You know, when I was younger, I've always had a lot of friends, always. And my sisters used to say to me that my friends would be short term. They were very much, you won't have these friends when you're older. And now they look at it and they're just like, wow, because the same friends they thought I wouldn't hold on to, I still have them and they are like family. As I said, I've gained friends as I've gone, but they've all latched on. We have just been good friends. But my friends, each of them have a different quality. So they're not all the same. If you put them in a room, you'd never guess that they're all friends together. But they have their own reasons and they have their own seasons. But I love them all the same. But then we know that good friends are also honest and honest enough to sort of tell you when you are not being a good friend yourself. So what are the things you think could break a friendship? So we've spoken about friendships and building them and things like that, but what could break a friendship? Jude?
What could break a friendship? I think it's everything is everyone said already, because if I could link it to the friends who become family, I've got friends who, from growing up again, parents knew each other and we almost became like cousins. Like I said, we've grown, then you meet new people through work, through travel, through everything, through marriage, and priorities step up, and this is different. So it's not about what really makes a good friend or how to pick them. There's something G mentioned. G spoke about having each other's numbers, or their parents having your numbers. This is something I tried out just last week. I started to talk to this guy who there's a friend who always talk about everything, and I said to him, Does your wife have my phone number? Does your wife have my wife's phone number? Or does my wife have your number? What if I fall down and die right now?
Yep, that's
Who would
important.
who would my wife call? Say,
Yep.
Christ. And absolutely, my wife doesn't have any of your number. I said, because I'm very practical, I'm very realistic. I don't beat around. And I said, you see, you're not a friend. Because if you were a friend, my wife would have your number. I've just gone through. None of these people I call my friends, even from childhood. She knows them. They come here, we eat, we go there, we eat, we stay the whole day, we eat 3 course meal. I said, she doesn't have any of your number. Your wife don't have my number. If you fell down and died, that was it. I could just remember and say, oh, where's this guy? I haven't spoken to you for a while. And then they say, he died. I'm like, what the hell? This is how I test this thing. And as Tyler said, as you grow older, the priorities and the things you talk about change. Yes, investment and all of that. Things change, and you talk about those things. The Bible says, iron sharpened iron. If I was to use a yardstick to measure friendship, or there's no good friendship for me, but that's how I would do it. If we're not like benefiting each other, if we had a conversation today and we're blessed out of that conversation, great. Tomorrow we're having a conversation, no one is blessed. I think we should call it a day. This is how I do things. If you're not sharpening me, if you are taking too much away from me, or I am taking too much away from you, I think you should sit down and say, hang on, Jude is not blessing me. It's not making me elevate like you use the word. It's just simple as that. Iron sharpened iron, because you get drained, and I get drained a lot. That doesn't mean I've pushed these people away. I still get drained, but then I'm very realistic. I'll tell you the truth. I've gone back, instead of me to tell them that you're draining me, for Christ's sake, leave me be. I come back and I talk to the only person I can tell about this, my wife. This person is killing me. I'm tired. But then the call calls again, I pick it up. This is why I said at the first place, does that make me a dishonest friend? Because I don't want to do anything that will then so much belittle you, like G said, you don't know how they will react, and then I lose that forever. You don't want that. So at the end of the day, I take it to my own detriment. So it's just that
I think
forever.
you
That's
should
where
be able
we
to tell
are.
your friends if they're draining you. I think you should be able to.
You said that earlier. This is what I'm saying. But I am that person. Would I want somebody to tell me?
That's one of the things that could break your friendship, Jude. So what you're saying is, if a friend, if it's draining you, then that's not a friendship that you should be holding on to.
Will I be able to say, if a friend comes now and say, Jude, you're horrible, say all of these things that I do. You see, I always tell people to say, look, there's what we call the Johari window. Tell your friends to put anonymously things in a bucket about you, what they don't like. You will be surprised and be like, what the H? So this is how I do my thing. What if I put my friend to that thing and say, tell me things you don't really like? Do I really want to hear those things? Absolutely no. This is how it is. I can't come out and pretend, but this is how it is. That's why these things, I keep them to myself and I just get drained. This is how it goes. And we just continue like that. But I know I'm being drained. But that's me. People are different. That's how I do mine. Yeah.
Tyler, what are the things that you think could break a friendship?
You know, I think Jude hit the nail on the head with a lot of points there. I think it's breaking that trust. You know, breaking that trust, and I think it's continuously letting you down.
Thank you.
You know, and it could be simple things like, you know, asking a friend to show up for you in whatever way, whatever reason, and they, you know, they constantly can't make it, or they're constantly busy, or they're constantly
why?
Yeah, it's not by
I'm
force.
laughing because I remember a friend that literally stood me up twice.
Yeah,
this girl goes around telling everyone we're best friends. I never said that. I never said that. She did. She stood me up twice, and I was like, "That's it."
But it's really hard because I think, don't get me wrong, I agree with what you've all said, but it's that whole, you've probably figured this out in all the episodes that I'm a softie. I'm a huge softie. And it's like, if you've built relationships, so many things has happened, you've had life experiences together. And then, as somebody's put in the chat, experiences change as you get older. So like your uni friends, the partying changes because you've got to a different stage of your life and things like that. But you're following the journey together. And then, I don't know, life gets the best and somebody gets too busy. do you cut them, or do you still remember the things that they could have, or the things that they have done? I don't know. Or do
I
you just
have to do that. I have to think, okay, when has this person been there for me? Because if there's been a long gap and there's no talk, or every time I try to talk to you, it's like I'm the one making the effort, I'm not a fool. So it'll come
Yeah.
to a point where, and I do a call every 6 months. I go through my phone and I delete numbers, delete,
Same.
delete, 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 delete.
Wow.
I do the
I
same
don't, I
with,
don't,
that's
I
right.
don't
I
delete.
do the same with social media. Apart from Facebook, everybody can be my friends on Facebook. I don't care. But Instagram and other places where I talk a bit more about not private stuff, but just going a bit more about myself, then yeah,
Personal.
I definitely check that. But I do a call. If I haven't spoken to you, number of months, or I've been the one reaching out, you haven't replied. Oh, I'm tired. We're all tired. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's
now
true.
I have a child. You can't
It's
use that.
true.
Me to have a child. Me to have a husband. Me to have a job.
Yeah, yeah.
But somehow, and sometimes I get mad at myself because I'm like, what? Why is it it's you that has time to check on people? And then sometimes I'll call my friends, like uni friends or whatever, and they'll ask about all our other uni friends from me because I'm the one that's keeping in touch with all of them.
Yeah, same,
Like,
same,
am I
same,
the
same,
secretary? Why is it
same,
me that
same.
people are asking questions? So
Yeah.
yes, I do check. I do think, okay, this friendship has not done anything to improve my life or enhance my life. They haven't done any lifelong thing to me that I have to keep them as friends or whatever. But friends for
Yeah.
me, or friendships in general, it's not that hard. It's literally
Yeah.
give and take. If there's no giving or taking, it's just give, give, give from me, then you
Yeah,
get to
exactly.
go.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
So
agree with what you said there. And I think it's when you said about, old friends that you may have done, you've grown up with them, you've done good times and all that. That's when you need to just remind yourself that it's seasons, isn't it? Not
Yeah.
not every friend is designed to be there for the rest of their life, for the rest of your life.
absolutely.
Not every friend. And at the end of the day, you remember the good times, and if you see them,
Mhm.
you can laugh about it, you can say, hey,
Yes.
but that's it. This funny thing that happens is when you see someone, it happens to me a lot because I went to 3 different secondary schools, right? So I know a lot of
Mm.
people from all over London and outside London. So what happens to me is I'll bump into someone that I went to my first secondary school, and they'll remember me because I was at the school, then I left, but I may not remember them as much because I
Mm.
moved on, right? And then they go to me, oh, Tyler, da, 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 how you doing? Da, da, da. Oh, let's exchange numbers. And in my head, I'm like,
I don't know
yo,
you, man.
like, we're not gonna
Oh,
speak if we exchange numbers because I'm busy. Like, and like you feel bad. And there's been times and I've like, yeah, go on, give me your number. And I know, and we spoke? No, we haven't spoke.
No,
So
no, no,
but
oh.
what
no.
do you do in them situations? Do you turn around and you say no? what do you do? Like it's a difficult one. But why do people do that? Like,
I'm not
what do
joking
you
No.
though. I've actually given wrong number. What I did, this
Ah.
guy, I'm not joking. I'm honest, and I hope if he watches this, he forgives me. He knew me from back home. We we weren't really friends, but we knew from area. In your area, you have your clique.
Area.
We were the hard boys, and we don't like
Were
we
you
don't
an
like those
area
guys.
boy?
No
You
area
the
boy. We
area
were
boy.
tough. We were tough boys. We were the we were flash, so to speak. We were OG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
So anyway, I knew he wasn't in my clique. And one day he saw me out in Woolwich. Hey, and we heard each other like all the partying on the back and all of that. We was talking. I was like, yeah, long time. When did you move into England? Blah blah blah. And he then asked me where I lived, and I said, this is where I lived. And he said, oh, I'm like 2 bus stops from you. I'm like, great. And he said something. This is what he said. This is me. This is what he said that made me give him a wrong number. He said, oh my gosh, I could come check on you and chill with you when I'm not doing anything. In my head, it just clicked. I'm like, did you think when you're less busy, that's when you want me? And I started counting my number. I gave him correct to the last one because I know
And
my
then you
number.
change the
And I
last
changed
one.
the
Yeah.
figure. And I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
good luck
yeah.
with
That's
getting in
what
touch
people
with me. And
do.
I walked away.
That's what
You
people
know
do. You
what?
change the
I've
last
just
one.
You just got me thinking of I think she's even online at the moment. There was a friend of mine years ago. We'd gone out. Some guys must have liked her. She wasn't interested. Bumped into the guy another time. He asked for her number. She went and gave him my number. So he's calling
Wow.
and he's like calling for her. She's online now. I know she's there. So she could put it in the chat that it was her. And he's calling and he's like, oh, and he's calling me her. And I'm like, so she gave you my number for me
That's
to be the
deep.
one to dismiss you. But
Mhm.
that's
That's mad.
friends. I was happy to do it
That's
for
mad.
her. I was actually happy to do it for her. But the idea of giving out numbers was a bit. But we've spoken about our friendships. We've spoken about what could break friendships. But let's talk about the growth. Let's talk about how friends have helped us with our growth. Because I personally, I call them women of excellence. Each of my friends, they strive to be the top at what they do. They strive, they're hard workers. And when I say hard, we started from young girls. So we've, as I said, I use the word elevate. We've worked together, we've elevated, we've supported each other through life circumstances, situations, different things. Each of us has had our ups, each of us have had our downs. But at the same time, we've grown, even up till today. Tyler, you said you had a conversation with a friend today, and the friend was talking to you about investing and things like that. I had the same conversation with a friend today. When we're going for a walk, we were talking about investing and how can we move to our next stages. So has any of you had any sort of experiences, or do you want to share an experience of growth with maybe with a particular friend, or just share with the audience an example of growth from a friendship? And that's to any of you.
I think if we have time to look back, we don't have the luxury of time. You will find out that during the whole journey, whether they've not been a huge part of that journey, but somehow just by saying 5 seconds, something they said in 5 seconds could have been part of your growth. Just last week, because I'm looking to get out of London, but I don't know where I'm going to go because we're so confused about where we want to move to. So we keep searching. I've been looking at properties, admiring so many properties because I believe picture these things in your mind and they will happen. And a friend
Come on, they
calls
will,
me.
bro.
Yeah,
Come to
and a
MK.
friend. And you would have to
She's
invite me
advertising.
first.
Come to MK.
You would have to invite me first for food and all. Let me check that first before I can go. Anyway, and he called me and he just started talking about, you know what, that property you're looking for, you're gonna get it. Don't be afraid. It's a big change. You would enjoy it. Your children will love it. Don't be afraid of anything or how you will meet your commitment. And I said to him after I finished talking, I said, stop. All day today. And this is about 9 p.m. This is what I've been doing, looking at properties. I'm confused. I said, it's almost as if the ether is saying, go speak to Jude about this and calm my nerves. And that's what he did. That I could say is part of my growth because it's encouraged me to say, hey, I've done it. You will do it. You will get there, you will go past it, and you will look back. So I'm not going to out here say, I know I do a lot of things by myself. People know that they'll testify. I don't just bother people, I just do my thing. But like I said, if you have the luxury of time to look back, you will find that through conversations. Most of these people have chipped in 1 or 2 words that actually spur you on to go on and do what you did. So yes, I'll say throughout our lives, people have been in and out and they've been part of our journey, whether we like it or not.
I strongly agree with that. I do agree with that. But you have the friends that stick and you can visually see what they've done. But we've also got the friends that just give the little 1 and 2 here and there. And that's made a huge impact as well. Tyler, is there any specific thing you wanted to share with us in regards to growth or anything particular in regards to friendship?
You know what? I can't think of anything in particular. I can think of many things. So I can be here all
we
night.
Can be here for a long time.
just that support. I think, you know, when in my immediate friendship, I was probably one of the first to get married, and not maybe one of the first to have children, but you know, one of the first to mainly get married, I guess. So I guess it was the support of, you know, coming from, you know, being one of the guys to kind of now, oh, you know, Tyler's getting married and that. So I think the support that I saw from my friends was alone something that helped me grow. Do you know what I mean? Because they were there for me. They were like, yeah, you know, this is good what you're doing. And so I think, you know, if I didn't have that, if all of my friends were kind of all funny about that and all that kind of stuff, then that would have made me feel away. Like, am I doing the right thing? Should I be getting married? Especially when you're one of the first to do that within your group. So I think that alone was something that helped lifted me. One thing I'll touch on interestingly, which I think we should actually have a conversation about this, is family and friends, or family being friends. And I'll give you an example, right? So I've got 3 older brothers, right? Who 2 of them, we used to be really close, like best friends. All 3 of my brothers, older brothers, not one of them did I invite to our wedding.
Oh,
similar to what Jude said, right? My brothers have never met my wife. We've been together nearly 8 years, right? They don't have her number, anything like that. So therefore, when we were getting married, I was like, why am I inviting them to our most special day when they've not even met you? Like, the first time they'll meet you would be at our wedding.
Be on the wedding day.
So I think a discussion about friends and family is a good one to have as well, because you know, back in the day, my brothers were like my best friends, and that friendship faded away, and there's not really any reason for it. One is because of an age gap, and one is because one just went a bit crazy, essentially. So it's like,
Sorry, are these your actual brothers?
Yes.
yeah, actual brothers, but we've got the same dad.
Dad. Okay, okay,
different
okay.
moms. So
That's
yeah, so that obviously,
interesting. That's very
but
interesting.
basically, I'm trying to say is that friends, including family friends and brothers and sisters and siblings, whatever, I think like there's seasons for that as well. Like it's not by force, especially when you're not of the same parent. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean, it's not by force, and I think that sometimes we hold on to either the friend that we grew up with or the brother that was a really good friend. Obviously, I'm not saying fall out with people, but I'm just saying, you know, don't
It
expect
needs to be
everyone
fluid. It needs to be just done naturally. It can't be forced upon each other or anything like that.
Exactly.
I do agree, because for me at the moment, I can actually say my family are now like my best friends. I have got good friends, but because of the situation of the pandemic and everything like that, mine's the opposite. My family have gotten closer, where previously we were at a not distance, but we didn't talk the way we do now. Where I speak to my sisters practically every day, and my brother as well, practically every day. But previously it would be like once a month would get the conversation. But yeah, so
sorry,
today,
what was the question? I dropped out. I did not charge my
we
phone.
were just last minute words. Anything you wanted to talk in regards to growth, an example of growth of a friendship, or last minute words in regards to friendship in general?
I don't know. I've got one of my uni friends online going on and on. Her name's Lara. That's her with all the comments.
She's the one that spoke about the university and said, what was it she said? Let me even say that, she said.
That's her saying I'm harsh. Yes, that's right. I am harsh.
Can you come back on Insta, because no one can hear you on Insta? So, or can you not get back on?
Because I'm using my other phone, so I can't go on Instagram.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Instagram.
Apologies
go to
for that.
YouTube.
Apologies.
Go to YouTube. The link's in the bio. We've got 5 minutes left.
But no,
go to YouTube.
the friends thing is a two-way street. It's work. Like any relationship, as I say, it is work. You both have to work on it for it to work. If I feel, and that's a very key word, if I feel like I'm putting in all the work in this friendship, trust me, I'm cutting you or I'm putting you on the back burner. So that's just it. I've got to the age where I don't care anymore about what people think or what they say.
Exactly.
If I call you, I'm not checking up on you. I can't pull out information from me if you don't want to share it with me. Because if I know you're going through something, but you don't talk about it, that means one, you're not ready to talk about it, or two, you don't think I'm a good friend enough for you to share with me. And if the feeling is not a mutual thing, it can't work. So if we want to be arm's length friends, which is what I call it, let's be friends.
I think it's not just that clear cut though. I'm that sort of person who I don't want to bother people with my issues, and I suffer in silence. Some of your friends might be those people.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I'm one of those. My door is open. You can call me literally at any time, and
of course we know, but you need to consider.
You need to consider the other person. Out of you. I can't drag it out of you if you don't want to talk about it.
Some people are built to need you to sort of instigate it. So not everybody.
But then there's only so many ways you can ask how someone is doing, or this and this has happened. Don't talk about it. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. I can't keep asking forever, because also if you think about when I ask someone what the matter is and they tell me, that's an energy I'm putting on myself, and because I want to help. Yeah. So I'm not going to put someone else's burden on my head.
On the actual friendship.
I'm not going to put someone else's burden on my head if they don't want my help. I have other things to do, but I always have time, which is why if I keep my close friends very small, 3, I can manage that one and I can give everybody attention, like equal attention.
I'm a fan of having 6 or 7 friends. As I said, I've got friends for different seasons, different reasons. I've known them for years. I've not gained any new friends lately for me, or I've gained friends, but not close friends. Because my close friends are those that know me, they know my family, they know where we started, where we are now, and they were always there to support. But one thing I'd say is if I can't count on a person, it's hard to consider them a good friend. Okay, so if I can't count on you, it's very difficult.
Do you know what happens? Let me give you a quick example, with similar people that may be in my industry, in the acting world, the entertainment world, is we meet people all the time. Like, we do shows. Like when I used to do like Panto, for example, we'd be doing a show for we'll be away for like 2 months or whatever, and you're working with a group of 15 people or whatever it is, and you get really close to that group, and you form a bubble where you're away. I did a show in Salisbury one time. I was away there for 2 months. So within that time, you get really close and you form these kind of friendships. When you now come back to the real world, it's like you keep it up for a little bit and you think, oh my gosh, this is a new best friend. And then you go and do another play, you meet more people, and then like I said,
it's
earlier,
like jobs.
3 different secondary schools. So I know people here, I know people there, I know people there. So it's a bit crazy. So I think it's quite dangerous for people like myself, because you meet so many people regularly that you start to think that these are all your friends, these are all your friends, these are all your friends. And actually they're not. They're just people you know, and they're acquaintances. And so once you realize that, and because it took me a while to figure that out. Like
of course.
Luckily, I grew up, and if not, I would have invited 600 people to our wedding. It was only 120.
I wanted 20. I wanted just 20.
Well,
like, no, bring this person, bring that. I wanted just 20.
Thank you guys for tuning in this evening. Unfortunately, we've come to that time where we have to say goodbye to you all. Many thanks for tuning in as we spoke today about friendships and who are they. Jude is currently singing Say So Long. But if you could please just hit this notification, hit the subscribe channel onto this channel. Those of you on Instagram, just follow us. We probably will stay on a little bit longer with you for a minute. But for those of you on YouTube,
because there's only 2 of us.
There's only 2 of us.
We won't.
Sorry.
I'm coming off.
Sorry. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. This is us, and we have arrived.
And
nice one, people. Goodbye. Thank you, Instagram, for tuning in. Next week there will be all 4 of us on Instagram.
We'll
once I get a new phone.
Old man Gene's phone.
Yes, I'm using the invisibility cloak. I'm using the what's it called, the Harry Potter cloak to disappear.